Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is...
Good day, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today on Self-Discovery Radio and sharing with you from this wonderful platform, Recovering the Whole of You. My name is Dr. Kiti Adderley, and I'm a physical therapist. I live and I work in the Bahamas, and I'm a private practice owner of handling your health, wellness, and rehab. And it is a physical therapy-centric clinic, but we offer a whole myriad of wellness programs, because what we want to do is make sure that we create a space for anybody that's going through any illness, disease, recovering, or want to prevent a disease to come and seek good support, help, and counseling. And even though physical therapy is our primary mode of delivery, we offer massage therapy, we offer holistic nutrition counseling, we have a holistic nutrition practitioner on board, and there is workshops that we do, and we do lots and lots of information and lots of education. And so I am just so honored to be offered this opportunity to share with you, and I look forward to sharing with you in the coming weeks. Isn't it great that we started out at the beginning of the year? This is so exciting. It just makes me feel so happy to know that I am able to share with you at such a milestone. You know, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people make intentions, they make goals. And I think it's very important, even though you don't have to wait to the beginning of the year to do that. It just seems that everybody makes their New Year's resolutions. And I'm just so excited to be a part of that and to actually give you some ideas and hints on how you can do that and be well, So I want to sort of entitle this One Step to Wellness. You know, I am known as the recovery expert. My main patient population is oncology, which are cancer patients, and diabetics. And I serve this population. And by doing so, we, like I said, find the issues that people have in terms of impairments, meaning things that aren't working right, or functional deficits, things that they can't do properly, and we try and bridge that gap. So one of the big things we do is educational prevention. So when we make our New Year's resolutions, let's think about prevention more than anything right now. What are what are some of the one things, I know that sounds sort of clumsy, that we can do to work towards our wellness? The one step, right? What does wellness look like for you? For some people, it may be one, creating healthier habits, and healthier habits in terms of what you eat and what you drink. Healthier habits in terms of exercise and movement, healthier habits in terms of losing weight, healthier habits in terms of rest, healthier habits in terms of just way you manage stress. And so I've termed this little talk here, what we're going to do, one step to wellness. And to begin any journey, it starts with a single step. And so what is that single step that we can focus on? Well, the first thing we have to do is set the intention. We talked about that. What intention that you're going to set? What is it that you want to focus on? What are we going to move forward with? And by setting the intention, you are either writing or speaking in the universe, you're conjuring up your support group, and you're letting people know the things that you want to do to make your life better, the things that you want to improve. And sometimes when we write our goals and our resolutions, they seem very large, they seem very insurmountable, and a lot of people get overwhelmed with that. But let's break it down into steps. So step one, let's just write it down. Let's just say that this is what we're going to do. This is the intention. This is the behavior that we want to change. This is where we're going to direct our energy. And let's create the environment that is going to support our intentions, right? And so this is why it's so good to tell your people, the people in your circle, what you want to do so they can hold you accountable and they can help you. You know, if somebody knows that you want to drink more water, maybe they'll bring you an extra water bottle when you come to work. They'll remind you that you need to drink water as you move on throughout the day. And I think it's very important for us to do that. We need that a bit of accountability. And the most important thing, the accountability aspect of it, is that we make sure that we're accountable to ourselves. And so some people decide, okay, I've started my walk. I've drank water for like the first 3 days. I've done the amount that I should. Maybe you're starting out with 8 glasses of water, but I didn't do it for 2 days. What do I do then? Oh, I've fallen off the wagon. No, you just drink your water the next day. You know, you want to stay consistent and you want to follow it up and you want to be true to it, right? So set the intention and follow through and be accountable to yourself and accountable to somebody else. And I always tell patients and clients that I see, you know, start with the easier steps. So if it means that you fill the 8 bottles of water and you have them there, then that's fine, right? And so I'm hopping on water a lot. And people are like, well, I don't have a problem with water, and that's good. But then we can take the same principle and we can bring it across every other aspect of wellness that we want, right? So I've written a few things down in terms of what we can focus on and working towards being well. Right? We're talking preventative care, but we're also talking about trying to maintain a level of wellness, keeping yourself free from disease, free from illness, right? And improving whatever you're dealing with right now. So water intake is one. You want to make sure that you make healthy food choices. And I know this is like a very broad topic, but I'm so happy that I'm going to be here for a few weeks so that we can break these down and focus on these bit by bit and then address them bit by bit to see which ones work for you, which ones you need more information on, and we're happy to help you go through this journey. What a lot of us need to work on is rest and sleep. We're not resting enough. We're not sleeping enough. And because of that, we're not performing at our best, right? Sleep and rest is so, so important. And it's important because we need the downtime. We need that downtime to allow the body to heal, to recover, to mend the things in our bodies that we have wore down during the day before. And the brain needs a chance to rest and regenerate. The blood needs a chance to circulate without being called to different parts of the body. And we're not resting enough. And if you lack rest and you lack sleep, you can't perform as sharp, or you can't perform the way you're supposed to perform, because there is a lack and there's a need for your body to be replenished and regenerated. Movement is so important. We want to make sure that you move. So this can be one of your intentions that you can write down. And movement is very easy to do for the most part, but a lot of us struggle trying to fit it into our schedule. So we have to find unique, ingenious ways of getting it done. And we're going to talk about ways that we can do it and add that down to it. So if that's an intention of yours, write it down. Laugh. We're so serious all the time. We're always worrying about something, but laughing, creating moments of lightness, moments of levity, moments where you can celebrate life and smile. We need to incorporate more laughter. That definitely helps with wellness. We know that when we get happy, those happy endorphins move around. The muscles on the face get a chance to be more active, so you don't have to worry about wrinkles as much as when you sulk or sagging skin from sulking and being sad all the time. So laugh a little bit more can be one of the good intentions that you have. Do everything in moderation, right? We work hard, we need to rest hard. Yes? You don't want to eat too much. You don't want to overindulge, but you want to practice temperance. Everything in moderation, not too much and not too less. And that can go for exercise. So let's just say you're starting out on your exercise routine. You don't want to go hard and heavy the first time. Your body's not used to the toil and the strain that you're going to put on it if you go very aggressively. I mean, I can call different modes of exercise. But I won't pick one in particular because all of them can be stressful depending on the level of moderation or intensity that you go at. But at the same time, if you do an exercise that's not getting your heart rate going, that's not giving your muscles enough chance to contract and get stronger, then that it doesn't defeat the purpose, but we're not going to get maximum benefit from it. And so we want to make sure that we do everything in moderation. Breathing. I am big on breath. If you don't breathe, you die. And so this comes into stress management. This comes into relaxation. This comes into rest. We need to practice good breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth is a good pattern. Or you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose as well. But the thing is, you want mindful breathing. Breathing where you are taking time just to disconnect and just to really pay attention to what's happening in your body. Giving your lungs a chance to fill up to as much as it can. I don't want to say maximum capacity, but really filling the lungs that you get a good bit of oxygen in, and doing deep exhalations where you're squeezing out all of the carbon dioxide, where you're giving the lungs a chance to be bathed by what it needs to get bathed by. You want to get the oxygen in, you want to make sure that all the blood that's moving through that area gets a full dose of oxygen, and it also helps the oxygenation to the brain. That in turn makes you think a whole lot better and a whole lot clearer. A lot of us, we're not doing deep breathing. We're breathing very apically, where we talk about in the upper half of the lung. So the full lung is not getting it. And so if the lung is not being fully saturated or fully exposed to air, obviously the body doesn't get the full amount. And it's going to manifest someplace else. And then one thing that I think we don't talk about enough as healthcare professionals is gratitude, practicing gratitude. Gratitude is so important for wellness because a lot of times as we move through the day, we are so caught up in what's not going right for us, right? We are worried about things that have happened. Sometimes we have no control on it and we let it consume us to the point where it starts to affect us negatively. But if you take the moment to be grateful for the things that are going right, and you really have a chance to be accountable to what's really happening in your life, you realize that there's so many other things that are going good right now outside of the one or two things that may not be going right. Remember that I treat cancer survivors, and a lot of times, they're going through serious struggles. And in that struggle, they go through a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. And some days are not so good for them. But then we always try and say, okay, think about it. What is the one or two things that are you grateful for today? Let's see if we can shift where that energy is going. We don't want to sit down and feel bad and feel overwhelmed and feel negative. Yes, it will come and we have to acknowledge those feelings, but we don't want to be set in that. We don't want that to consume us. And so just writing down in the morning 3 things that you're grateful for as you wake up in the morning, and then perhaps writing 3 things down at the end of the day that happened to you or that you're grateful for really, really helps in terms of setting your attitude and setting your mood. And it's really helpful in terms of healing, because there's something positive for you to focus on. And, you want to send positive energy towards the healing process. So those are a few things that we can work on as we set our intentions for the new year. These are things that I want to explore as I talk to you about recovery, about prevention, so you won't have to recover from some of these diseases. And, the interesting thing is that I'm so passionate about this is because I'm walking that walk. As a medical professional, sometimes they say the mechanic drives the worst vehicle because we're so busy fixing everybody else, we're not fixing ourselves. And I've always had this need to share and take care of my other professionals, the other medical professionals, the physicians, the nurses. A lot of times we don't really see just how much they're dealing with. and we don't acknowledge how much help we need as medical professionals. And so I have to do due diligence. I have to make sure that I set out exactly what my intentions are going to be on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. And I can tell you, I genuinely struggle. And because of the struggles that I have to try and perfect this, I know the struggles. I know what the needs are for most of us that are out there. And so it's been my goal to try and create, like I said, one, a safe space, but also channels of communication where we can talk about these things. You know, it's a work in progress. It's constant. And you want to know that you can access good information. I think this is why I'm so excited about joining the self-discovery team, because it seems that we're a group of people that share that idea, that want, and to fill that need, because we know that it's there. And we want good, credible information. And we want to create the platform and the environment that people can feel comfortable to come and share. Please feel free to leave your comments, any questions that you have, if there are things that you want us to discuss. So I didn't want this to be, oh, this is a New Year's resolution show. I wanted it, yes, to be that, but I didn't want it to fall into the pattern of everyone else. I just wanted to stir the pot to get you to think about it, to get you to think of ways that we can work together and find ways to help each other and others that may not have access to this information or may not even sat down and thought about it. You know, if you realize there's so many people that are overwhelmed and thinking about things that may have them, well, let's just say grieving, right? We know that this time of the year, a lot of memories come up. There may have been people that have lost loved ones. I know personally, I have two friends that have lost grandfathers, you know, between Christmas Eve and Boxing Day. And, you know, and though that's recent losses, but for those who have lost loved ones, aunts and uncles, mothers and fathers, children, and you remember, you call up the memories that you've had of them before, when they were alive, when they were with us, when they were able to celebrate with us. There is a loss, there's a sense of loss, there's a sense of yearning, and it can really put a damper and a darkness over the whole celebration, because you almost feel like you don't want to celebrate because some of the people that were there to make this holiday so memorable are no longer with us. And we have to remember that. And I really want to reach out to people, those people that are going through that, because sometimes the grief is so heavy and the longing is so heavy that they forget to put themselves on their list. They forget to prioritize themselves. You know, are you really taking care of yourself? It's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve. That's a process that you have to go through. But you have to remember that you can't stay in this space for a very long time. You shouldn't stay in this space for a long time. And if you do find yourself in this space for a long time, then there's some interventions that we need to have. And hopefully during the course of these talks, we bring forward opportunities and avenues where, you know, where we discuss them, first of all, put them on the table, but also probably find people in our numbers that we can direct you to that may be able to assist you, to make you, to give you an avenue for you to get some intervention, to get some support, some help, because we truly want to make sure that we're taking care of everybody. We're stronger together, and we need to identify those needs, just so we're identifying what our intentions are, what our needs, things that we need to improve. We need to talk about this thing. And this thing being grief for people that are grieving, and it just depression as well, right? New Year's bring in new ideas, new stressors, and sometimes a lot of anxiety can come along with it. So for some of us, we need to set the intention of stress management. We may need to laugh a little bit more. We need to rest a little bit more so that we're taking care of that and bringing some balance to some of these not so positive emotions that we go through. And just to make sure that we're aware of it, creating the awareness, right? We'll create the awareness, and then we want to educate and make sure. So we talk about these one steps, and And, you know, there's a whole process to go through it, but it starts with the one step, and we have to acknowledge that one step. We want to make sure that we can help you identify those one steps to do things. And, you know, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. I mentioned before, get your accountability partner. It can be a friend, it can be a loved one, and you want to start talking about this. You want to start opening up and sharing all of these things. I am just so excited, like I said, to be here, just to help everybody out, anybody who I can help, anybody who's willing to help. And sometimes some people don't even know that they need the help, but having these conversations will definitely, you know, highlight any needs that you may have, and to let you know that we are here, just even if it's just to have a discussion. The goal is to keep you healthy and to help you recover, and definitely it'll be one step to wellness, one step a day, one step an hour, however long it takes. It begins with that one step. So with that said, I want to encourage you to take these early hours of the new year and just focus on it. Just focus on what you want for yourself. Focus on what you would like to improve. Focus on habits that you probably need to practice less. Focus on the actions that you need to add in more. Focus on the foods that you need to add in more. And write it down. Write your intentions. I am going to rest more. I am going to eat more healthy food. I am going to add more greens to my diet. I am going to avoid excess sugar. I'm going to avoid excess alcohol. I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night. I am going to try and get 10 hours sleep. 10 may be a bit too long. Let's start with like 7 hours. I am going to get 7 hours sleep. I will move more. I will not take the elevator if I can. I will try and walk the stairs. I am going to dance for 15 minutes when I get home in the evening time. You know, these little intentions, they may be big for some of us, they may be small. I mean, they sound really small when you talk about it, but these might be big intentions. These are all the one steps that you can make. One steps to wellness, one step to making a change in a behavior, one step to a positive behavior, one step away from a negative behavior or a behavior that doesn't serve your health and your wellness and your well-being. One step. So as we start this new year off and we set our intentions, we're working for a one step to wellness. And I will leave you with that thought. And as we go on through the weeks, we will address some of these topics that I spoke about, and we will get health professionals to help us, not even health professionals, people that are good in their craft to help us be better, to make that one step to better, one step to wellness, one step to wholeness. And I really hope that you spend time with yourself, look at what you want, and let's see if we can create that pathway to your one step of wellness. So thank you so much for staying on and sharing your time with me. I totally appreciate it. I look forward to sharing with you, and much love from the Bahamas, Dr. Kiti Adderley, physical therapist, holistic physical therapist, and health coach. It's been my pleasure. Have a great day.
For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.